Hi. So I'm going to go over the homework that you did for order of operations. Order of operations was something that was just a review for you. You've had it a very long time, so I just want to go over and make sure because I saw there were a few mistakes here and there, and let's just go over this. So here's the first one, A, and A says. That Archie did it this way and what were his mistakes. Okay, so the first mistake, if you notice, is that Archie did 2 times 5. When you're doing order of operations, you can see that I have the words PEMDAS down here. P is for parentheses. E is for exponents, and there are none of those here, so I don't have to even concern myself. But there is one rule that is often forgotten, and that is that left to right rule. So I know that I have to do multiplication and division first, and I have to go from left to right, and whatever comes first in that order is what I'm going to do. Archie thinks that you always do multiplication first. And a lot of people think that because the M comes before the D. So what we have to do is we have to start all the way to the left and we go across, and there it is. Division comes first. So we had to divide first. So that was Archie's first mistake. He multiplied when he should have divided. The second mistake comes here when he does the same thing for addition and subtraction. That's a left to right rule too. And so he should have gone left to right, which means that he would have hit the subtraction first before the addition, but he adds. And so he gets 295, and that's wrong. So those are his 2 mistakes. So there's the Archie part of the problem. The second part is here. And this one says, do it. Just do the problem. I actually did this part first so I could see what the answer was so that I could see what Archie did wrong. And so again, we have order of operations. We have no parentheses, no exponents. I'm going to go right to multiplication and division, and I'm going to use that left to right rule. So it means that I'm going left to right, and I'm going to divide first because that's what happens. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. And then I'm going to multiply because I always multiply before I add or subtract, and that's 50. And then again, we have that left to right rule for addition and subtraction. So I'm going to go left to right, and there it goes. There's the subtraction first. So that's 260 plus 13, and that's 273. So you should have gotten 273 as well as Archie. All right, so let's do what's wrong with who do you think knows the least? And I'm going to go with Norma. And here's the reason why. Victoria actually didn't do too badly. So if you're going left to right, she divides first and then she multiplies second. Her issue is that she makes a silly mistake, and it's 300. It's 10 times 5 is 50, not 15. So Victoria knows how to do this. She just made one of what I call a silly mistake. Norma, on the other hand, what she does is she goes from left to right for everything. She doesn't even bother with multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. It's all the same thing. She's just going from left to right. So she really doesn't have that understanding of multiplication and division first before addition and subtraction. So, and Archie, I mean, he did okay on some of it. Half of it he got right, but the other half he didn't. So Norma knows the least. All right, and then the last one is this, put in parentheses so you get 130. Well, okay, so I started with putting parentheses over here around 310 minus 20 because you don't subtract first, and I just used order of operations for the rest of it, and I got 738, and that certainly isn't 130. Then the second problem over here, I didn't wrap it around division because I would have done that first anyway. I wrapped it around that multiplication, and so I got 321, and that's not 130. So then I wrapped it around the 5 plus 13, and I ended up getting 130. So you can move the parentheses, and as you move the parentheses, you can see that you're changing the answer, because once you step out of that order of operations, where you just are dividing and then multiplying, subtracting, and then adding, you're changing the answer with the parentheses. Okay, well, that is it. If you have any questions. Oh, and the last question, E, all you had to do is explain in words how you do order of operations. And of course, it's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, left to right rule. Don't forget that. Addition and subtraction, left to right rule. Don't forget that. Okay.